We're live, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
All right. We got Robert Garcia with us, and he's going to be talking about how he's made $100,000, probably a little bit over that, but just in a year from his database. And I think that's impressive because a lot of us think we have to be purchasing leads. We have to be always trying to get either Zillow, Realtor.com, pay-per-click from Google, Facebook, or anywhere else except our database, right? So tell me the story behind that a little bit.
Well, thank you, Tristan, for having me back. I enjoy sharing all the knowledge and all the goodies with everybody. And, I'm very excited to see the community growing. If you guys have not liked the page, please tell your friends, your buddies, your colleagues to just like it, because there's a lot of good information that everybody shares here. Not only me, but I've been in many of these webinars before, and I've learned, good things. So a lot of people, let's be very honest, that number one mistake realtors make is they work so hard to convert a lead, close the deal, put it together, goes to settlement, and then you forget about your client, right? I mean, that becomes your past client, right? All I'm saying is this because of experience, not because, I'm a guru or anything like that.
I thought you were talking to me. I felt kind of bad because it happens every day.
So that's kind of like, one of the biggest challenges that we have. And there has to be a better way, right? There has to be a really good way. The big companies, they sell you the leads. The problem is that you're now conditioned to operate under the time frame of the lead, because they call you, and if you're not available, they call somebody else, right? So it's really, and then you're paying thousands of dollars to get names, emails, telephone numbers just to follow up. And you don't follow up within 5 minutes, that lead is going to somebody else. So there has to be a better way. And that way is your past clients, right? They are the ones that you already know, that you've been working with, and you have a very strong connection. So today I have I want to break it down in 3 talking points. One is you have to clean and update your database. Very, very important, right? You also, second point will be, you have to create a plan for this to work out. And the last thing is, you have to follow up and follow through. So let me just get you to the points right now of each of them. So clean and organize your database. We all have a database, and that can be a database. This right here, this is your CRM. For many people that don't have a CRM, this is your database, right? You have this here where you can use. So you have to clean your database. Very important. A lot of people, there's so many changes. When you were working with some clients, they maybe had 1 kid, now they have 2 or 3 kids. So you have to really clean the database. So it's important that you hire somebody to help you do these things. And this is where the money of this is right now. You hire somebody, whether it's in-house or a virtual assistant, you can hire somebody to come and do it for you. And then they organize the leads that you currently have, A, B, C, hot, cold, warm, however you want to put it. They also let you organize your past client, right? Are these past clients, are they buyers? Are they sellers? They were investors? They were renters that they potentially going to become buyers at some point. So you have to break it down specifically, because if you're going to send an email, a piece of marketing to somebody about downsizing their house, but the wife is pregnant, that message it's a wrong message going to these persons, right? So break it down where it needs to be, where for the content that needs to be created. Very important. This is just number one thing that you need to do. Then you want to be updating their profiles, right? You update the profiles. Maybe they got married, as I said, they have now more kids. So you got to learn a lot of these things. And where do you learn these things? Well, that's why we have social media, right? There is Facebook, there is Instagram. People love to post things that they do, vacations they went, places they visited, restaurants they like to go. I mean, you want to see people say hey, we're going back to our favorite restaurant, right? Now you have a reason to send them a gift for a referral they'll send you. They just gave you the information, their favorite restaurant sometimes. So have somebody kind of go through social media and see what they've done, see what they like to do. Yeah, you might want to call it stalking, not necessarily. This is just to build your database, to really add more value to the database that you have. So when you call, hey Tristan, good talking to you. Hey man, I saw you were last weekend eating at this restaurant. How was it? Right? You have now a subject of conversation that so many people, they just call and say, hey, do you have any referrals for me? Yes or no? And people get sick of that. I mean, let's be honest. You can only, how many calls you can get from somebody asking for referrals doesn't work. So, right, my virtual assistant, it's exactly what she's been doing for us. So it's just cleaning the database, putting all this information, following up with people, where they are, documenting they have more kids, they got a dog, doing all this documentation. So when you are talking to them, like you will talk with any other lead, you want to sound knowledgeable, right? That's very important, that you have knowledge of what is happening. In fact, there is a stat that I read from the National Association of Realtors that it says that this is actually back from 2019, and I'm sure it's the same, but it says that 90% of home buyers actually plan to use the same realtor that they used to purchase a house. So that alone just tells you that you don't have to spend thousands of dollars with leads. The same person you just helped to purchase a house most likely is going to use you for the future. Here's the caveat. You have to stay in touch with them, right? You really have to be working with them to make sure that they hear from you with added value, right? So here's where my second talking point comes. You have any questions for me? Nope, we're good.
So far, I think that the biggest challenge that people have is when you brought up that this is mostly everybody's database. I think you're right, the phone, right? Mm-hmm. And they never transfer it to an actual CRM. So my question to you is, what CRM would you suggest, or are you using anything that's simple to start with?
There's so many CRMs that you can use out there. I mean, you hear a lot, many coaches in real estate says, I mean, Excel spreadsheet is a good CRM just to start, right? If you don't know where to put everything. But I will say that good CRMs, if you want to start on the free side, HubSpot, it's a free CRM that you can get right now. It's simple, it's basic, it's a little bit raw for real estate. What I mean by that is that you have to build certain things, but it's free, and it's pretty. It has a lot of tools that other CRMs don't have. So that would be probably my number one recommendation. And they also have like a HubSpot University, so you can learn about these things. If you decide to pay for the more tools and things, it's up to you, and you can do that. And then for something that it actually helps you to work more with buyers and sellers, where in like an IDX, it's attached to it. We use Brevity. Brevity is the other one that we use, that it has a lot more, like you can create searches for people, CMAs for people. You can do a lot of these things that allow you to stay top of mind with people, because that's, at the end of the day, they come to you because they want a house, they want to buy a house, or they want to know how much it's the value of their home they're thinking of selling. Those are the two things why somebody will come to you. So if you provide those two things, you can do it. Otherwise, they can go to Zillow, and Zillow will give them that information for free. Not going to charge them. They can go to realtor.com. They can go to these other sites. So I think it's important that you have some sort of like IDX CRM connected, so that you can go after people. So that's kind of what we use right now here on the free side and also on the paid side.
I like that, dude. And you know what? You're right. With HubSpot, that's a really powerful one. Mm-hmm. Thanks for bringing that one up. All right.
Yeah, it's a good one. So once you have cleaned up your systems, once you have somebody in charge of taking care of these, once you have updated, the Mr., the Mrs., the kids, the pet, their hobbies and everything, then you have to create a plan to stay in touch with these people, right? So how do you go about that? As I said, you can call and ask for referrals. You can do past client events, like either you get-togethers. With COVID, I know what's different. You can do so many things. But I think those are very typical and standard events where people, they kind of like, the industry has trained them to kind of understand that's kind of like a given right now, right? If you're a realtor and you don't do past client events, what kind of realtor are you, right? So that's just people start thinking like that. So this comes from a book that I read every year. It's called The 7 Levels of Communication. That's a book. Here you go. I see hands up right there. So that's a book that I read because this book talks about this acronym called FORD, FORD. The F stands for family, O for occupation, R for recreation, and D for dreams. And as long as you are able to talk to people regarding these 4 areas of their lives, you will have a very good conversation with people. Everybody likes to know about their families when you follow up with them. Everybody wants to tell you how frustrated is their job or how nice is their job and how they enjoy it or they like it. And again, a conversation can very simply, I remember this guy I was talking to, he was so frustrated that his house now didn't fit the new lifestyle under COVID restrictions. And I said, maybe it's time for you to upgrade. And he said, I said, matter of fact, I think it is. I was able to get a listing and a purchase just out of talking about how much he hates his job because he didn't have a place to have Zoom meetings.
I have a question about that. Are you also having other agents make these calls that are on the team, and also some virtual assistants like your ISAs, or
Yes.
is it just you? Okay.
So it is a combination of the agents have to stay in touch with their database. That's mandatory. They have to do it. And then the virtual assistants, ISAs, also kind of they come in with us to give you some information about the properties as they see the task, where how many, what are my next 5-10 people that I'm calling next day. They can prepare that for you to say, just put the more important information up front. And so that when you're having the conversation, Tristan, okay, I see notes about Tristan, right? And then you just go about those things and talk about that. But then here's where the money is. Here's what I think the secret weapon of this is, that creating the plan is provide value. People will stick to others that provide value. So I'll give you a couple tips of things that you guys may consider. Number 1, okay, do webinars. Webinars about downsizing, creating a power of attorney, creating a will, creating a estate, and invite other people to come to these webinars. Like an attorney says, okay, we want to create a will. We are to this stage in our lives that is important for them to have a will. So when you invite somebody, you send those questions and you talk about having these things created, or a power of attorney. So last year when COVID started, a lot of people were, especially if they were like senior citizens, they were afraid of having to go and sign papers. So we created something about powers of attorney, like POAs, right? You have to show people that these can be done. So we had an attorney come over and talk about what it is, how much it costs. And actually, as they were working with us, we gave it for free to them. Says, look, if you want to sell a house right now, you're in the process, but you're afraid to going out, we will do a power of attorney through one of our attorneys at no cost to you, and we can just move forward, right? Adding value to people to do their things. And then you can also do things like that. So we tried this before, where we send something to our past clients to say that we have hired this electrician for this job, and we have these many hours left over that this electrician didn't use for that job, and we wanted to give people 2 hours so they can book this electrician and come and work to their house on our dime. We were paying for 2 hours of an electrician to come to their house. They needed to provide all the whatever parts, materials that were needed. So that alone got a lot of response. We did it with a plumber. We did it with an electrician. We did it with a handyman. We did it with a painter. So we kind of like went and spoke with our contractors and said, hey, we need 40 hours of your time, and we're going to break it down in 2 hours. Dude, so that you can go and meet with people.
That is such a great idea, man. I love that.
That was something that really generated a lot of buzz.
Can you tell me how the campaign worked? I mean, is it, and you know what? People that are listening in, it doesn't even have to be real estate related, right? You can do this in any field, but yeah. Is it, you just pick up the phone? Did you blast it as a mass text? What did that look like?
It was a combination of a text and an email. We were offering this service to our past clients, and we wanted our past clients to take advantage of this. So we kind of describe what could potential scope of the work could be, changing a chandelier or replacing a leaky faucet or putting a new light fixture, things like that. We kind of gave the boundaries of the potential job that this person could come and do. And we say, we will take care of the first 2 hours. All you have to do is just buy the materials, and that was it.
So
So
cool.
that went out. People click on the link, and then they were RSVPing through the email we sent to book this person. Then our virtual assistant stepped in to follow up with the lead to make sure, or the past client, to make sure that they have requested what they requested. And then we booked the appointment for the electrician, plumber, whomever needed to, just to went out to the house. We follow up after the fact to make sure that they were satisfied with the service, the quality, and everything. And at that point is when we were just like, hey, by the way, if you know anybody that can benefit from this service that we're providing, we're going to book this guy again. Let us know. And that's when the referrals start to come. Hey, I know so-and-so that is. So we were able to get into their, spheres and circle of friends without having to be so on the face to, hey, give us referrals. So as we were introduced to other families and friends, co-workers, we start establishing relationships with these people. And then eventually these people remember what we did. And then we start getting more business that way.
Good job on that. And I have a question, because I know you and I have a few virtual assistants. You've got, I think, five or
Five.
Okay, five. And can you remind me what you use them for?
So I have two that are ISAs for making phone calls for buyers and seller leads.
Okay.
We have one that it does a lot of the like video editing, podcast, and audio. So we have that.
Cool.
And then we have other two that are more like in operations, producing brochures, ordering, virtual tours, photography, doing the virtual staging through Box Brownie and all those things.
Okay, cool. I like that. And what company are you currently using? Is it Virtudesk?
Yeah, Virtudesk.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And so tell me, do you train the two for the ISAs? Because that's what we're talking about right now. Do you train them and say, hey, this is how you're going to talk to my past clients, my sphere?
Oh yeah, they go through 4 weeks of training. They have been already trained by Virtudesk in terms of a script, so for new leads, for past clients, for buyers and sellers, for sell by owners. They already have a basic understanding of the scripts, but when they come to our world, they go for some onboarding to understand more about our culture, the concept, how we operate, the areas where we do business. I mean, we haven't talked. A lot of people here buy houses based on the school location, so they, you got to understand the schools, right? Why is it so important? This high school is important. So, kind of like, remember, they're thousands of miles away from where we are, so I have no clue what Maryland looks like at all. But as long as you give them the information up front, they are able to have very intelligent conversations with people that are maybe thinking that want to sound like somebody that's familiar with the areas in which they want to move into it or sell their homes.
Perfect. All right, buddy. Well, thanks for the explanation, because I was wondering, that training.
Yeah. So they go through that. By the way, for that, we use Google Sites. You can create beautiful intranets with Google Sites for training. If you have Google as your platform for doing email and Google Docs and all those things, you can create beautiful onboarding sites through them. It's pretty cool what you can do. Very creative. So just for you to know. Last thing here, because I want to be mindful of everybody's time. Follow up and follow through, right? So that's the key here. It's in the follow up. And everybody tells you, every coach you hire for anything you do in real estate and anything in life, it's just follow up and follow through. So it's very important that you have, once you clean your database, now you have items of value, a system where you're going to start going after these people. You got to make sure that you do that. And so how do you do that? Again, just sending a special notes for special occasions, as I said before. So we have people like all birthdays, anniversaries, home purchase anniversary, home sale anniversary, um, dogs on birthday, whatever it is. We have all those things well documented, and we send them through either send out cards. I think it's notes. I think it's one of the companies, sendout.com or Postable. Those are the two that we use where we send stuff and they go on autopilot. We put them there, all the information. And once the CRM reminds me, Tristan's birthday, it's coming up, boom, we just send something to him automatically. And then we follow up. Hey, just want to make sure that you received that info, that the car. Want to wish you well. When we were doing more in house, we were adding like scratch off lottery tickets for $1 to the cards. But that was a lot more maintenance, so we move more into this portal where it can be done automatically, right? Important that when you receive a referral, you express your gratitude to people. Again, it can be a gift, can be an experience to something, whatever you wanted to do. It's very important to do that. We use a company for the people that send us a lot of business and referrals. We use a company called Client Giant. This is for
Ooh, that's
gifts.
a good one.
Yeah, this is for gifts. We use Client Giant, and you can put people there on autopilot. And depending on, they give you one referral, two referrals, three referrals. You can put them in they have different levels, right? You have something that is $99 a year, that it is gifts that go out every quarter, and they're good quality gifts. And you get to look at what they're going to send. They tell you ahead of time. So you can have that 4 touches a year, or if you want to go a little bit deeper, because this is like somebody, like it's an investor that uses you regularly to buy and sell properties, or they flip houses, you can go a little bit more for like $4.99 a year, and they get something every month. You can do one-time gift, like somebody was like a home purchase anniversary. You send something one-time gift to them, and we do that. And again, it's you send something of value, and then you follow up to make sure they received it, and they give you feedback on the item they received. Because sometimes there've been times where an item got to their house and it was broken, right? You send flowers that were like old and they didn't look good, didn't look fresh. You can call and again, you go another step. You call and complain to the company, and they can send a new fresh set of flowers out of them. So you again show them that you're caring for what you're doing for them, and always be there available for whatever they need. I mean, you have no idea how many times I get people texting me, hey, can you recommend me a painter? Can you recommend me this? Like, they now kind of being trained to see me as a source of information. It's resourceful, right? They just want to get the information, and I get them back. Hey, how's the family? I send information. How's the family? How's everything going? I mean, somebody asks you, I need a painter. You got to be wondering why they're asking a painter. Are they thinking about moving, right? Are did they just have a problem at the house, some water damage problem? What happened? Why do you need a painter, right? So that's just a reason for you. And through the process, I've been able to advise people to things like, oh, we were thinking about putting selling the house, but we're going to put a claim to the insurance. Wait, hold on, slow down, because putting a claim to the insurance, once you think about put the house on the market, may not really work. So then you again another step to show these people that you care for them and you add tons of value.
Dude, that is so good. I love that. And so can you, because we got about 4 minutes left, can you give any tips onto more follow-up ideas? Because I love all of your follow-up ideas. What would you say stands at the very top when it comes to that long form follow-up?
So that what stands on the top is the all handwritten notes. It's kind of like the ones that is like the most successful follow-up system. And then I think enrolling people in some type of like a gift program, you can do that. We also have done like raffles for like a Yeti cooler or some stuff like that. Those are more like seasonal, really don't have a lot of power. But I think like once you put people in more of a constant follow-up, that's what they really like. Also, for those that are have sellers, especially now how the market has been, monthly CMA email, auto email, it's very important, so they know where the value of the property it is. But I will tell you this, the notes, they really work very well. I know it sounds very old school, but that's the key, because a lot of people do text message, email. I'm not saying don't do those things. All I'm saying is add another step to what you're doing so that it look different. So you can send a text, you can send an email, you can do something on social media, and you can still send something in writing just to show how you care for them.
I love that, dude. Well, thank you so much. All right, tell me where we would send referrals to you if we have any referrals.
Well, if you guys have anybody moving to Maryland, DC, or Virginia, or looking to sell here, best way is just to give me a call. Just call me directly, 240-286-5526. That's where you can send those referrals. And or if somebody thinking about like potentially making the move because the federal government a lot of jobs and they want to explore the area. I mean, I have had so many calls from people moving to Cali, to this area, where they just kind of want to have an understanding if it even makes sense to move to the area. More than happy to do that for you guys. Okay, just no commitments, no pressure. We're not about sales pressure, guys, just education.
I love that, dude. That's why we all love you, dude.
Thank you very much.
So,
I'm really grateful for the opportunity, man. I really appreciate it. You guys doing an amazing job with all the people from Virtudesk. I love everybody at Virtudesk. They're really, really good. And look, I've been with so many virtual assistant companies in the past. I've tried quite a few, and I tell you, by far, Virtudesk, it's really, really good, well equipped and well trained VAs, people that really hungry for learning and help you, and being humble at the same time as they are making mistakes and learning. You don't get that from other companies. So good job to Virtudesk.
I love that, man. Thanks for the shout out to Virtudesk. Thanks for being with us, and
Thank you.
We'll do this again. You always bring such great information.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. And again, if anybody wants to reach out to me, just get my phone here. Call me or text me.
Thanks, buddy. Have
Thanks.
a great day.
Hey, bye.
Bye-bye.